So log into nearpod.com. The student code is BIKLF.
I clicked the wrong button.
And we're going to, how many of you have used Nearpod before?
It says that it's not a valid code.
Oh, I wonder if it timed out. Let's double check that. Let me look at my
Oh.
thing here.
That's what it did to me too, Kate.
Whenever people say kids.
BIKLF,
Okay, it's open.
and it says it's not a valid code?
It had
Mine's opening, I think.
Okay.
It'll just take.
Un momento,
It
por
says,
favor.
please enter a valid code.
Live lesson. There may be a new code, hold on. Live lesson, it's thinking. So how many of you used Nearpod before? So Nearpod is an interactive, like a PowerPoint kind of thing, slides. Okay, your new code is SAULK. SAULK is your new code. I think it just timed out, so that's why it, we have a new code. Easily fixed.
What is other?
SAULK, I've got to put it up here.
If you go by a number, I guess.
Jarvis Smiley.
Ah, really?
I would not be it.
And you have, so your name or nickname, I am one of those teachers that likes to know what name you're putting in. In other words, you should use your name, or if it's a nickname that's familiar. Does everyone see that? Home group, okay. So in a Jigsaw lesson, you have home groups, which you're in now, and you have expert groups. Everyone should have an A, B, C, or D little card. Does everybody get one? Okay, so the letter represents which expert group you are in, and then at your current tables you're in your home group. So those are your home groups. Okay, look at your device. You ready?
No.
Boom, I am controlling your device. That's pretty cool.
I don't like that.
What name do I put for this? Just my name?
Yeah, just put Shane.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It's cool.
So the expectations for this lesson, you need to work collaboratively. What does that mean? That's an academic word. What does collaboratively mean?
Together.
Together. So in other words, you're not going to be in your group working isolated, right? You're going to be engaging and you're going to participate. So in a Socratic seminar, you had an option whether you responded or engaged in the discussion. The participation in this needs to be more forthright. You need to be collaborating and actively participating with your group. Respect, so you're going to respect each other's ideas and thoughts, no dissing, no negative talk. It's okay to disagree, certainly, that's certainly acceptable. But being respectful, and we're going to stay on task because we've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. Okay, so I'm going to start by activating your prior knowledge, and in your groups, I want you to think about what you believe are the essential components of a lesson plan. You've been writing lesson plans. I know you wrote at least one for 2,500, and some of you have written more in different classes. So what I want you to do, you've got a little personal whiteboard here. I want you to decide as a group and write down what you think are the essential components of a lesson plan, and then we're going to put them up and talk about them. All right? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that. I'm going to put up a little timer here.
I've already.
Neither of you have been. Okay, so visual of your timer.
Overview.
Components.
I'm thinking about the learning targets.
Well, definitely the most important thing about the lesson plan is
Seconds.
yeah, those learning objectives and targets.
No
So, like,
cheating.
You have to let the student know
No cheating.
what they need to do. Like, the student needs to be on task. You know, they need to know what the teacher.
Write it down.
wants them to do.
Write it down.
The markers are the accommodations.
Yes, right next to you.
Do we have to put standards? Should we put objectives? Does that count as the ICANS? I'm gonna put goals.
So is it you guys just erase it later?
Oh.
Oh, no, yeah, my handwriting is okay.
Because that I mean, that's
audience
just basically
behave.
a quick synopsis of what it is.
Yes, what's the
Um,
condition? Degree.
yeah, I mean, the goals.
Right. Okay, cool. And then, context, or is that too? When you come to the end, like review.
Oh, like compared to what they
What do we
were
do again?
before?
Summarize.
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
If
there's a,
evaluate. Yeah, you have to like yeah.
there has to be something that gets them interested.
Yeah. Informal or formal. So. That's not bad. I know.
So the standard tends to push.
Oh, and then the time allotted.
Is there anything else?
But there might be there might be.
I don't wanna put
like,
pictures. Smiles.
here that's why I wanna.
Is that a little more than a
Anything
minute?
else that we need? Is that, is ABC for standards, right? Objectives. We're gonna like.
Oh, yeah.
I should write what it is in the head of the year, right? Not the tail. Well, you better go fix it, or Rita Thomas will murder him.
Yeah, I think it's
Accommodations, modifications.
Way to go.
How many?
Do we put evaluation, assessment?
36 seconds?
Don't you just put like
I
a
think we
book?
did. Yeah. I said
I said, isn't assessment, no, I don't think the assessment is.
What is it?
The equipment.
I think also, a law also puts, if you haven't put it down already, please have
I
like some
should bring
sort
up
of.
the subject that we don't want to have in physics class, because we're working at the moment. But I will.
When you're done, put it up on,
I think
a
she
board
said
here or
it
the
was-
window, you can, set it up.
Prior warrant, like engagement.
I wanted to sign my name.
Okay,
I think we're good.
so, let's post them. If you want, you can just put it up right over there, Amanda, sling it up over there.
Just hold it.
Okay, I believe that, kids sit too much.
Yes.
Like there's way too much sitting in school. So I'm gonna ask that you stand up and let's just, try to position ourselves so that, we can see all three. And it might be that, we might be maybe better off moving that one over here just for visual purposes. I like to do a gallery walk, you know, I like to have like around the board, like around the room, and then just have people move around and look and make note of, what we've got. So just in looking through these, what do you see that's similar? Anything, just one component. Objectives, okay?
Materials.
Okay, let's start with objectives. So I see objectives, and do I see objectives over here? There's something that goes with objectives, in my opinion, that are not here, although they're sort of on that third one that you read about. An article. Learning targets. What's the difference between objectives and learning targets?
The objectives are just for the teacher, and the targets are more, like the student knows what those.
So objectives are teacher language. So it's the goals in my language, what I need to accomplish with my students. And as you said, the learning targets are student focused. And they're chunked in a way so students, it's very clear what they know, they need to be able to know, what they need to know and be able to do it by the end of the lesson. Right, I can statements. Okay, good. What else do you see that's common?
The equipment slash.
Equipment,
For,
materials. Everybody got that? Are you seeing that?
Assessment. Yeah, all three boards have assessment.
All three boards have, what do you assess? What should you assess?
The objectives.
The objectives are learning targets, right? So the GPS analogy that was given in the article, so students need to know where are they going, what's their destination? And that assessment that lets you know whether you got there or not, based on those learning targets. So if the learning targets have the verb or the language function explain, then your assessment should have the word explain. Graph, right? So we can't say explain and then have them do something else. Now, it could be that you try to broaden it for choice. So there's a little bit of flexibility there depending upon how it's stated. All right, so we said assessment. What else do you see that's common?
The lesson overview.
Lesson overview, we're gonna learn, we're not gonna have a chance to get through all the details on this, as we're gonna see it in a minute. I see hook over here. Is there anything, activating strategy? Anything about activating strategy over there?
Activity.
We have
Okay, so
mission.
something to engage using prior knowledge. I don't know if you learned about Osabel or not, Daniel Osabel in 2500, pioneer in this term schema, that we have this schema that we attach our learning to, and when you can go back and connect things to prior learning, then it gives an anchor of which to attach new information to. So that's what an activating strategy should do, as well as engage, motivate and get students excited, what have you. Okay, so anything else that jumps out at you? I see accommodations, modifications over here. So it's not going to happen that all your learners are alike. You may not have any IEPs or 504s in a class, but your learners are still different, right? So there may be some things that you're going to have to do to modify your lessons. Okay, anything that stands out that's missing or that's different? Good enough. All right, have a seat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to leave those up there because you're going to engage in learning about this new lesson plan. It's not really new, it's just, I'll call it revised, modified, in your expert groups. So this is the MTSU lesson plan template revised. The standard, there's actually a whole list of standards for this lesson as it relates to lesson planning. And then it's in the lesson plan that I've written and have provided for you on D2L. I did not make copies of this one. But the one that most accurately sort of puts it all together is the one on lesson planning. The teacher plans instruction that supports every student in meeting rigorous learning goals by drawing upon knowledge of content area, curriculum, cross-disciplinary skills, and pedagogy, as well as the knowledge of learners and the community context. So this lesson plan template is going to help you do that, all right? Okay, so our learning targets. Kate, will you read the first learning target?
I can identify all parts of the MTSU lesson plan template.
Okay, so you're going to have to identify, that's sort of a lower order skill, right? Just identify what they are. And then, Michaela, will you read number 2?
Who did more? Okay, I
Oh,
found it.
okay.
I can explain in my own words the expectations for each part of the MTSU lesson template.
Okay, so this is not going to be like a memorization thing per se. It's to be able just to put it in a couple words or phrases. Now there are 12 parts. You might not remember all 12 parts for the assessment. That's okay, because you're going to be using this tool. It's really a tool. You're going to be using it. You're going to be exposed to it. You're going to be very, very familiar. This is just sort of an introduction to the parts and pieces. So the first one is identifying. The second one is explain in my own words. It's a little higher on the Bloom's taxonomy. And then read the third one, Shelby.
I can use the MTSU lesson plan template to design a micro lesson for each one.
Okay, so the third learning target will not be accomplished today. This third learning target is more sort of a project, because you have a Teach 1 coming up, and you're going to have to write a lesson plan for that, a very, very detailed lesson plan. And you're going to turn it in, and you're going to get feedback, and it's going to be an iterative process of revising. So I want to make sure you understand the parts and pieces so that your first attempt is pretty successful. Before you even write that first lesson plan, though, you're going to submit a lesson plan idea form. And I'm going to show those to you at the end of the class, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So the first 2 learning targets you're going to accomplish today. The third learning target is more of a long-term project that we're going to be working on over time. All right? So there are your learning targets. So you have expert groups. And in just a moment, you're going to move to your expert groups, and I'm going to be providing you with some information and an activity sheet for you to fill out as you go through the process of learning your parts. So you each have an A, B, C, D, and group expert group A is, in a moment you'll move, but not yet. You're going to be here. B is there, C is here, and D is here. Now we have one person that is absent. Aisha emailed me and let me know that she was going to be absent today. And Aisha, I think, is supposed to be over here, a D. So because Aisha is absent, somebody's going to have to teach this group the D part. And as a teacher, it's going to fall on me to teach the D part. So I will take Aisha's place in filling in. That's going to happen to you too. You might have to do some modification based on absences or what have you. all right? So right now, get your stuff, move to your proper place, and I will be providing you information and the instructions on your screen. I'm giving you an activity sheet. Go ahead and put your name on this. You're going to be using this to do the jigsaw. The 4 parts I will put up on the screen for you in just a moment. Your instructions are on your screen, so it is your job as the expert group to learn your parts. Now, you're not going to teach it in great detail. You've got to teach it so that they, in a couple of words or a phrase, will be able to demonstrate they got the gist of it, okay? So this is not a memorization thing. It's an introductory thing to help everyone learn the parts by dividing up the work. So put your name on this jigsaw activity sheet. I am going to give you 10 minutes. At the beginning, do you see the, that's not right. Go back. No, wrong way. Go back. Go back. Okay. The expert, no, one more. Right there. Okay. Where you have the A, B, C, D at the top, lesson plan parts for the jigsaw. So those are the parts. So that's what you would fill in for A, B, C, and D. And then you'll notice below that on your activity sheet, it says My Notes for Assigned Section. So this is table C. So this table is all going to put C for My Notes. You guys are going to put D and C and A, B and A. And then do you see that there are 3 main ideas on the activity sheet? If you look at your part, there are 3 parts, correct? Every group has 3 parts. Those are the 3 main ideas. You follow me? Nod your head if you understand. If you don't, raise your hand. So table A has 3 parts: lesson overview, standards, materials, resources, technology. Those all act as one part. All right? Okay? And now I'm going to give you your lesson plan itself. The back side of this activity sheet is where you take your notes for your home and your home groups. Okay, let me help clarify. So your table B,
Okay.
and then the 3 main ideas for B.
These are ours, right?
Yeah, that's all yours.
Oh,
So
and that's for taking
that's home.
notes. Okay,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
need to learn. Did I give you guys lesson plans here?
Oh, sweet. She came to me individually.
And I am providing you with an academic language support that has the terms to help you understand what they mean.
Yes.
Section number
Yes. Here's your lesson plan, and then here are the explanation of terms.
Yes. Yes.
And Taylor, as my Spanish English language learner, I have for you in Spanish the PowerPoint. Okay.
Oh, this
So we are
that is up there.
reviews, expert groups, that's where we are. I'm ready to change that. Here's your activity. Some of these in Spanish, and this is kind of our,
So
there
we're
are
just
all
kind
the
of
descriptions. Mhm. Okay, so do you understand what you're to do?
Kinda.
Okay, so you're group D, and so group D
She asked me at the end of
is activating. So you need to, like,
And
no, does it have to be 3? No.
closures to
That would be just three things or not. But that's just to sort of scaffold thinking about, oh, I need to be writing some supporting information. So you guys are gonna talk together and decide what you're going, the essential parts. And if you can teach, by the way, you need to try to find a way to teach this creatively. Make a decision with your group about how to teach this creatively. The more that you can engage your students in multiple ways of understanding, visually, textually, kinesthetically, that helps the learning. So try to be creative in your teaching. All right? Mnemonics works.
So,
Images. Got lots of, you can come up with a song.
No.
What about
No.
just each?
I think we're
Thomas,
teaching what the things are,
You
so
wanna
we're
get
teaching
the,
what the lessons are.
targets?
So your part is A. Mhm.
Yeah, so we're teaching lesson or what lesson or
Uh-huh.
what the standards are, like what standards are, what materials are,
Because you're gonna go back and you're gonna teach your group those three parts. So this is sort of an introduction to this lesson plan. And it's not gonna be rate content, right? Because there's a limited amount of time. This is to support your thinking by knowing what do we mean by this? What does that involve? And these have been grouped very intentionally.
so
Yeah.
it says,
Okay.
to whom will the lesson be taught?
So,
Like, who are we teaching
okay,
to?
so, okay.
And then there are different
guess
examples.
Yes,
on
so like lesson
like
one
things to consider.
is.
10 minutes, I'm gonna put on the,
Okay, there are
Timer?
times backdate on this,
How are we?
so on your main idea one.
Oh,
wait, I'm sorry, these are standards.
Yes.
And
So
I guess we should probably read all
At
this
the
and figure out what three would be the
Yeah.
best.
I'm not sure that's how you do that.
Definitely
Seems
like.
like enough information.
Oh, boy.
Teaching the lesson
Okay.
Okay,
There's four
so that's
things
like,
there.
context for learning is like teacher speak, and then like what,
Standards.
like the what we're actually doing, like in actual English, we talk about is who we're teaching.
Okay.
yeah, it's the who, right?
Supporting detail on what was identify something from this second lesson.
Those ones, that was you guys.
I mean, that's what it says in there.
Yes, supporting detail
So central focus.
So because H is
Oh,
not.
so your first main idea is just context for
Like,
learning.
as in, pop back up and.
Because for the main idea, what I was thinking is you divide each
You mean
one
main idea
into a separate
one?
section, like advancing
or supporting
activating
detail.
strategy would be main idea one, and then main idea two would be disruption,
Do you
and then
mean,
main idea three would be activating.
were you talking about main
That's what I
idea?
was thinking.
Oh, for, and you're looking
Main
at
ideas.
activating strategy?
Yeah.
Oh, you just broke up.
Okay, and so
Somebody's
you
building.
can, so these three, there are three things here, we can put something under each three, or if you want to just write a description. That's just to sort
And
of help you
then
with
maybe the
thinking.
second
So
detail.
activating strategy examples, the general purpose, what is that? What is it?
Yes,
Demographics,
central focus.
cultural community
It's like
aspects,
a,
and then the last
like
one
this
is just
says,
have to
like,
support,
I was
and then
thinking
we're
it's
saying to
like
support that.
something to grab the students' attention.
There's also
Like get them engaged in law.
So what did you say? the first
I would
one?
think so, I think that's kind of just the definition, so
Under activating strategy?
Makes sense to me.
I was thinking about the
into
HUD.
examples,
Okay.
Kate, what do you think?
Summary and link.
So I guess I could,
Justification.
put,
I think
set
that-
later here, talk about that.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
code,
You
right?
could, you could also think about it,
I was thinking for the first one, it would be like the
more globally,
definition.
and think about like,
Context of learning means who we're
okay,
teaching
so
to,
you
you
can
can
take this whole notion of a
examples,
I think
so
that last
examples
sentence
who we're
is
teaching to
draw
think
the
teachers
justification
are,
for using.
and then within that,
And
you
it's
can
practice
think
and
about,
lessons.
cultural learning assets, because they're all
what
kind of
are the big
examples.
ideas
And
in
then
this
so,
class?
You wanna do a lesson
You
follow
wanna
there?
you wanna hook them in, you wanna motivate
It's
them.
defined on where
Yeah.
humans are very angry, supporting detail.
Looking at this,
I think so, just
All
to,
grouped together.
These are different.
just
like,
because I'm not sure we
ways
need
you
to
wanna
make
connect to
one
prior
where
knowledge,
it's
so.
like everything
basically the same thing.
and just telling them that you need to believe it. And the last point is you have to have data to support it. You can't just be like, oh, class gonna get this on or whatever, whatever. Like you have to like look at it
I'm not,
and
I'm thinking I'm efficient.
you have to support it for a lesson plan.
So that's
So,
definitely.
so, yeah, a little bar, right? And so then I can make this efficient, and it's, can't. And you want to engage.
So it's
And
gonna
you
be
want,
Explain what you're doing, why you're doing it.
participate and,
Yeah.
E and C. E EMC the hook, you want to EMC the hook, you guys want to engage.
You're gonna take a second to write, I'll be ready to go.
So this is a tool, this, it's an analogy, right? This hook is an analogy, but we're attaching some orders to that to help people understand that this activating strategy has a purpose. And the purpose is to engage, motivate, and connect. So we're going to EMC the hook. EMC. So, engage, motivate, and connect. That's what the activating strategy is.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So that becomes
Oh, so all you
easier to
have to
like
just write down
remember
the main
than
points
just,
of this thing, and this thing. Man, I overthought that. I thought we were supposed to like go through a bunch of stuff and try to understand it.
Okay, cool. So what's the second one?
And then you are supposed to
Okay.
understand it.
That's what I write summary
Good.
lesson,
Okay.
This is
summary
what-
and the lesson.
I think you are supposed to understand it, but it's.
when you look at these terms, what stands out to you?
Yeah, I spent most of the time figuring out what was supposed to be.
Everyone
instead of,
includes
like,
verses
learning
at
what
the end to like explain the
Where is
students
the
how
where are
it
you?
relates to you.
Oh, I'm on the.
Oh, yeah, the
essential
SU.
questions,
Okay.
you go and just write all that stuff down.
Oh, wait, how do you guys want
There's
to
all
break
these
it up?
parts
Because
and
there are
parts.
academic,
And of course,
there are
there's a
1,
form
2, 3, 4, 5 different things.
Well, for that one,
This highlight.
the first one is
Gotta have-
academic.
I was, oh, yeah. I think we were gonna say the same thing, just
So that
define
we're not like-
academic language.
Right, the first one is academic language, so you can probably,
So we're
and then
gonna
you
write
could do
summary
vocab
and
and
So
then
how
highlight
do
the others
we
while
do
it's
to help get these parts
And
and
then this
pieces?
course.
Oh, wait,
like,
okay.
instruction and things.
We can't expect everyone to remember all of
And then we
these
can
parts
about
and
the
pieces. But what can you do to kind of package it in a way?
Yes.
So this is
Well,
above and
Some of
beyond,
these,
like what they typically say.
I was thinking.
I would put vocabulary and syntax in the same one, because that goes
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like what words you use.
Oh,
and
highlight
what
is kind
order.
of go
See, I wrote
time,
time, summary, and length of lesson,
procedure,
as well as
Separate
scope.
and
this portion.
it's such a
Right.
different
Right.
part, but we don't have to report more
Separate?
minor
Yeah, or group
detail
them,
yeah.
that we can worry about like
I
later.
guess like this
Um,
one.
We were saying the same thing, just using
And
different
this
words.
notion of differentiating is important. Just a note that happens to be covered in communications equipment. And, you know, an assessment, so if we don't remember everything, it's like a need, right? It's the, if the hook is the activating strategy, the hook is on me.
Here's
When the bait's on
What
the
about,
hook.
what
So
was the
pole.
definition, or no, sorry, an example of syntax, that, like,
Yeah, because vocabulary is like what words, and then like, I really.
instead of conventions or in.
That's like a kid's fish. I mean, if you just had a hook.
So
or
maybe-
a pole or line, it would be, right? And if you just had the pole and you didn't have the hook, it still would be.
Or I guess in music, that would be
So
like,
this,
when
this
you introduce
fishing pole
the symbols into the teaching, like you want to show you the notes first, and
procedures, what are we
then show
gonna do
the
next?
music
How are
later,
we gonna spend?
or vice
How are we
versa.
gonna?
No, that's not what actual like syntax is.
I'm trying to think of a word that
Like
like,
in your literal words that you speak.
Standard
How
slides.
do you record them?
Academic feedback.
See, that's weird.
it's literally
Also,
just
sure,
the
before
arrangement, I'm reading the
you
definition.
were
The
saying
arrangement
anything,
of
I was
words and
thinking,
phrases to
maybe
create well-formed
that could be like the fish.
So like, say that something's like word
Like
is
if you
weird,
get back,
it's like
so you
an
know,
academic
it's like a
scheme,
fish.
you might need a support for your students to be able to understand what's actually. So kind of like
So I guess,
having like.
yeah, so the syntax, you learn kids will understand.
Academic feedback could be oral. it could
So
be-
I'm gonna write next to that
Yes.
handout we got on Thursday,
Right.
because that,
That's
this
basically
is
the
that
first
handout with
step.
all the words on it that
And
you
then
find.
you say how
That's what it's
or
saying,
why
when you explain
these
the
particular
supports we're
statements
learning,
and how the
academic
lesson
learners that you will provide.
Or
hits
it's
these.
very small on taste of that.
So academic language is not only identifying it, but you have to explain how you're gonna provide it.
So does it kind of like state
Yeah.
standards?
Okay.
It's a lot, it's like, it's a way to package it.
What they're about to do.
Think about how can we.
Well,
how are we
so
gonna get it to
basically,
them
And then
so there's,
for
there are
discourse and
states.
language
Yeah.
So-
different notes in your lesson, I think it's more detailed
And
information.
then,
I think that this is like, say that,
why those standards,
maybe
Right,
it's
2
like-
minutes, 2 minutes.
But if,
Lesson.
like, discourse would be like the difference of, class conversation. Okay, I
My
actually.
screen, by the way.
So like you're giving us.
So,
You
bring
can
in points
differently
of
and ask
review.
Okay.
like,
Is the
Are you
big word
coming
out
up
there,
with
so
some-
reviewing,
the class we have to.
active
I was
engagement,
being a bee over there,
reflection,
so I didn't
So-
want
so
to
like-
check you guys.
Discourse
Place,
like
process
like
of
packaging,
class,
review,
making
actively
it.
engaging
So would you need more than
in
2
the review
minutes?
process.
Come back in a minute and a half.
I'll check with you.
Okay.
How are you all doing here?
Okay.
We're finding a way to package this to help us
I'm
understand.
trying it.
Okay. Probably need a few more minutes. All right, I'll reset in a minute. How you guys doing?
So detailed needs, so you're
Finding a way
identifying
to sort of think
the
about
plan
it,
to check
package.
for understanding,
Yes.
so
We have one more
how
minute
exactly the
left.
students can know.
Excellent. So, everyone else is gonna need a little bit more time, so when that timer goes off, I'll
Their,
probably
that
put another
they've
2
reached
minutes
this level of
on.
understanding.
And
And then
then,
detail
so
C,
then if you need that, take it
demonstrating the
to,
practice
sort of
of examining
record
the ideas and skills, and it's individual as well as those of others.
Maybe the first detail should just be the definition.
Can you explain that third one one more
First
time?
It's
detail.
kind of heavy, so,
I don't think you can get
demonstrating,
really into the definition.
I kind of put the definition like next to
practice
the
of examining
main.
your own ideas and skills, as well as those of others.
So
So,
that way when I choose.
you're working through the review and you show your students how they can look inside themselves and review the idea or whatever skill it is and reflect upon that and see the area that they're at. Is that kind of helping?
okay, you
It's kinda
guys
heavy, it's hard.
feeling good about your, what you gotta do?
I think the interventions and extensions should be in the same, just put in detail.
Thing is you need to
Interventions
explore
for lower level and then
ways to
just-
figure out what going
So
to
like,
demonstrate their knowledge and skills.
How the resources will be used.
Ownership
both
is
ends of
means
it.
of ways of
Do you
demonstrating
remember?
their knowledge and skills.
I'm kind of
How it adds
functioning, but.
value.
So what?
No, I was listening to that on this, like what we're
No, I
talking
know,
about.
but-
Second one is to
Like-
provide justifications
Like,
for
you
the
know,
assessment
for the
as
lowest level
supported by
and higher
theory.
level.
Yeah.
So for like intervention.
Okay, I'm gonna add more time, 2 minutes.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So
that's a
I was
really
just
good way
saying
to
it
put
makes
that.
sense that you would group
It
them
should be
together.
supported by theory and research. Yeah, it's, B is providing justifications for the assessment, and is supported by theory and
You
research.
guys might disagree, putting the supports for diverse student learning needs and then putting ELL, IEP, 504, and differentiation all in the same thing.
Yeah.
And then just.
Supporting C is to identify how to collect a variety of data to evaluate the outcomes of teaching and learning. So you are identifying how to collect a variety of data to evaluate the outcomes of teaching and learning.
Forty-three, a lot of times we, oh, I guess, I feel like differentiated instruction is a term that we use more than support for diverse student learning.
Did you include something about instructions that go along with materials?
I've heard of that term.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
really.
instead of 43,
Um,
just
that's the
having that
reference.
interchangeable with.
Okay, you guys feel
So
good about it?
I put,
Good enough? Get started?
Can you say what
So
you
I
said
wrote-
again?
So like
identify
using
what
43
materials
interchangeably.
and
with
what
If there are
materials
things that,
as like a little
terms